Today we're going to be doing a video on how to close your own pool. So you want to run all your pool equipment, take note of anything that's not working so that next season you can fix it, maybe even before you open the pool. Certain things you need to fix while there's no water by the equipment. Also check by the equipment, see if there's any leaks going on. Just sort of check everything out. Alright, so make sure you have a plug for each suction side and return side inlet and outlet that you have in your pool. So I have spa jets, spa suction, spa return, pool return, Polaris return. Then I have the deck jets over here. And then we're also, this is a modified pool lid that I'm using. We're going to use this to blow out the pool. I can show you how I made this, but essentially it's just a pool lid. Drilled a hole. Got this called a bulkhead fitting here. And I'll show you how we use that to blow out the pool later. Okay, so for the skimmers, you can use, these are sort of screw-in 1.5 inch plugs. Or these are number 10. Regular rubber plugs, or you can use a gizmo. I used a gizmo last year. I just didn't like how when you're blowing it out, if you try to insert the gizmo at that time, it's all this tape starts getting blown all over the place. And I think I'm just going to go with the more traditional plug here and put a empty algicide bottle in there to deal with the ice, so the ice has room to expand and contract. I'll show you that later as well. Yeah, so make sure you have a plug for every fitting. Make sure it's the right size. So you'll have to go around your pool, check your fittings, check what size they are, maybe order new plugs. Just make sure you have the right one. You can easily just fit test them and make sure that you have the right. For the drains, you'll have to take the drain covers off, but it's not a big deal. Okay, just turned on the air blower just to make sure that's working well. Yeah, so just run everything, your heater, make sure everything's working nicely, just so you know if you need to get anything fixed for next season. One thing I wanted to point out is you should check this caulk here. Actually, you should do this about a month before you close the pool so you have time to fix it. And if this is bad, you have to replace all this. I'll do a separate video of how to do that. But you don't want water getting in there and freezing, causing problems over the winter. Also, you want to check this gap here between the coping and the pavers or the pool deck. The gap should have enough room. This is an expansion joint. There should be enough room there so that if this starts creeping this way, that there's enough room here to take the slack so that you don't end up pushing your, this doesn't end up pushing your coping into the pool, which causes breakage, and then all your tiles will start breaking. So just have a look at that. Worst case scenario, if these are moving, you'll have to reset the pavers back and make sure that they don't get too close. Okay, so we attached our backwash hose and we're going to put the multi-port on waste, the waste setting. This means all the water that we suck in is going to go straight out to the street or wherever your backwash hose is pointing to. I got mine going all the way down my driveway. And what we're going to do is just lower the pool water level under the 5th tile in my case. You want it below the skimmers. And you'll see why later. But let's just start this off because it might take a while. Alright, so that's running. It's always a good idea to make sure it's actually going where you wanted it to go without any leaks in the line. You can see all the way out there.
Dad,
that's perfect. Backwash hoses together.
Dad,
so I had to make I had to attach 2 backwash hoses together using this union here, just because my hose wasn't long enough and I have a really long run. Alright, so as we're draining to waste, you can see right now we're at the we're actually filled way too high. So We have no ways to go here. I'm just gonna let that run. While that's running, you can start doing the other stuff like removing the pool fence, cleaning up the whole pool area, leaf blow the deck. Basically, if you have the same type of cover as me, where you have these mounts for the cover, you have to unscrew the top part so that it sticks up, so you have something to attach the cover to. Okay, we removed the child safety fence, and the pool water is still draining, so that's why it's good to do this while you're draining the pool. That way you don't waste any time. Now this device this is what you use to remove and install your cover, and it has this wrench here which you can pull out, and basically what you're going to do is for each one of your posts for the cover, you unscrew it so that there's enough room right there, so that there's enough room for the cover to attach to that, into that gap there. You're going to do that for all the posts all the way around your pool. Alright, so now we got the water level lowered, and the way you know that you're at the right spot is when your skimmer starts sucking air. You'll hear it. So now what we want to do is lower the spa all the way to the bottom so we can get in there and plug the holes. Alright, so basically on the suction side, that's where your pump is. That's where it pulls the water out of the pool. Sometimes you'll have these nice arrows here. Turn both skimmers off and only open up your spa suction. I mean, this is assuming you have a spa. If you don't, then it's a lot easier. So now we're just going to drain all the water out of the spa. Again, we're going to waste. While you're draining the spa, I just had to turn the Jandy port off for spa return because it was coming back in through there while I was draining it. So you just want to make sure you turn that off so you don't have water going in while you're trying to drain all the water out. Alright, so we drained the spa, and now what we're going to do is get in there. You might want to get rubber boots or something because there's still a small amount of water in there. And there's going to be 2 screws on each one. So we're just going to remove each of these covers with a regular Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, just be super careful when you're removing these screws that you do not drop any of these screws into the holes. Okay, you don't want to lose them, and you don't want them going into your piping. Okay, so we got our drain covers off. This is what it looks like. Alright, so now we're at the point where we're going to start blowing out the lines. First of all, you need one of these. This is the same type of blower that your pool company would have. I think it's between $300 and $400 on Amazon. I'll post a link for that. And you want to use one of these because if you use a vacuum cleaner or a regular air compressor, there's different pressure and different volume of air, and so you want to use the right one so you don't mess up anything with your lines and you blow it out completely. The cost of one of these is what you're going to pay your pool company for, you know, one closing, and you could use this for many years. Modified pump lid. You might not need this, but this is the way I do it. So I just got an extra pump lid for my pump, and I drilled a hole in it, and I put this bulkhead fitting in, and then I attach this so that I can hook one of these hoses up to it. And I'll show you that when I blow it out. And this is called a bilge pump. I use this to just get that last remaining bit of water out of there, and when I'm blowing out the lines, I like to stay as dry as possible, so I just use this pump to get all the water out, and then Makes it a lot easier when you're trying to plug it when everything's dry. Of course, you need an extension cord for your blower, most likely. Alright, let's get to it. So another thing I wanted to show you is before we start blowing this out, I still have my chlorinator connected here. So what I'm going to do is just bypass it. So I have a wire with the same fittings. Sorry, a hose with the same fittings. This comes with the chlorinator. They usually give you extra hose. So I just like to unplug it on both ends, and then over the winter I just completely disconnect the chlorinator and I use this instead. I'm just going to go ahead and do that first. I'm using my winterization pump to drain the remaining water out of my spa. Some water was still in the lines and it crept back into the spa. So just get it totally dry, and also test your winter pump. This one happens to turn off automatically when the water level gets too low. So you can just kind of leave it in there, pumping water back into the pool. So I'll just leave that in there while I'm working. Sure, buddy. Okay. Alright, so here's the deal. We have this hose here, and this is just a regular pool hose, and we have it connected to the inlet that we made for the special pump lid and the output of the blower. Alright, and this is this spa pump only controls the spa, so it's just sucking water in from the spa and pushing it back out. This is just for the spa jets. So let's turn this on. Alright, see all that water? So clearly we're going to have to suck. We're going to have to plug those two. That's the suction. And we have air coming out of all these holes on the sides. Alright, so there was too much water in there for me. So what I'm going to do is, so you just heard my pump kick in. I'm also going to use this bilge pump. I just want to get all the water out of here, so when I turn that blower on, I don't have to deal with water spraying up in my face while I'm trying to plug the holes. Makes it a lot easier. I'm going to put this bilge pump in each of the 4 holes. I'm going to drain all the water out that way, so I don't want any more water in here at all. Alright, I'm going to try this again. So I'm turning this pump on. The blower's on. We're going to plug those. I'm going to take one of the plugs, stick it in the hole. You want to make sure it's untwisted first, and then when you put it in there, you start turning it clockwise until it's nice and tight. When you plug one, I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so I plug this side. Plug this side. See, there's no more air coming out here. Make it nice and tight. Once you see no more bubbles, you know you're good. And then you plug the other one. Take the plug here. Now what's... And water comes out of there. Now I plug those two. And then in order to get the pressure gets stronger, and the water comes out of there. So now you go to these, start plugging these up. Just like that. That's the concept. Plug that to each one of these. See? gonna go back through and tighten these again, but as you reduce the amount of open holes, the person's gonna keep getting more in the remaining one. Now there's only 2 left. Let's go back through and let's tighten these again. We don't want these coming out. Don't want to be able to turn them easy. Untighten them first so they go all the way in. I need both hands, hold on. I'm letting the last one go until I shut the blower off, because there's clearly no more water in the system. Okay. There's clearly no more water in the system. So I'll just plug that one nice and easy with the blower off. So what I was saying is you want to loosen it first so it goes in nice and easy. It should be flush like that. And then tighten it good. Don't strip it. But make sure it's nice and tight so that, like that. It's not gonna, give it a tug. It's not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. Just check all of them one last time. Here. All right, so now these 2 lines are actually attached to the other pump. That's why I didn't blow those yet. That one sunks into the main pool pump. But we close that off. And then these return lines also come from the main pump. So we're going to blow those next.